Hi there. Let's have a look on service account types that can be created within Microsoft Entra. So in the past, we tried to learn about the users and the groups, but imagine you want to run some service instead of using a standard account that has to be executed or started. In that situation, you would definitely use your traditional service accounts, but the traditional service accounts is not going to work in Microsoft Entra, right? So there are different types that we have. So that's what we are going to learn within this lecture. So there are total three different type of service accounts that we can talk about it. These are purely cloud-based service accounts, we can say. So the things like managed identities is the first type, what we can say. This itself has a system or a user-based assignment. We will have a look on it in a minute. So we learn one thing, managed identities, and the second one would be the service principal. uh, if the first option would be always go for managed identities, if it is not applicable or you're not able to use, then go for the service principles. The third one would be the definitely user-based account. This is a standard user account that you are going to share with someone, right? So ideally, this option you would not be using. You would be, either using managed identity or service principal. So if you look at this simple chart, this explains everything for you in the easiest way. So you have a service that is hosted in Microsoft Azure, blindly go for managed identity. Of course, you could even use the service principal, but it's required, it's recommended by Microsoft itself to use the managed identity. So you might be thinking, what kind of a service? Let's say you have a virtual machine, you want to stop in a specific time, okay? And in that situation, if you are the standard user, you normally log in and you'll click on a stop button. But here, if you use the managed identity, meaning you would be creating an account called managed identity, and that account will have a full rights on that virtual machine to stop or to start. So that's what you're going to do it with the managed identity. So that's why it's recommended. And with this method, you do not have anything called a password, and it will by default it can trust that virtual machine. Uh, if you have granted access, definitely by using Microsoft Entra in the backend. Now, the next one would be the service principal. Yes, the service principal also you could use. With this, you can have your own secrets. Secret is nothing but a kind of password, the next level of passwords over the cloud. And also you could use your certificates also with the service principals. So this is the ideal situation for services hosted in Azure, and we would definitely not use in any case this standard user account which are created in Microsoft Entra. Let's have a quickly check on exactly managed identities. As we discussed in the previous lecture, there are two types. One is a system assigned and the user assigned, right? And where do you apply is within Azure, right? So meaning if you open any of the Azure resources, let me open the portal to show you in a better way. Let's say if I open a virtual machine, in this you have under security, you have identity. So this is where system managed identity or user managed identity can be assigned. Let's say if I have already an account that can be easily added by using here as the user managed identity. So these are the two different types what we could use with the help of managed identities to grant the access on that specific resource to perform some activities in the backend. Okay, and now when we look at services that are not in Azure, meaning you cannot manage with the managed identity, because as earlier, if you see here, we can only grant with the identity if options if it is in Azure, right? If it is not in Azure, definitely you do not have any option to manage. That means you have to go for service principle. So let's have a look on it. What exactly service principle? Let's say if you navigate to Microsoft Entra Admin Center, and in this identity, you could create your own enterprise applications in order to do some kind of integration. For example, if you are looking to enable maybe Slack services within your company, and then simply you can click on new application, and you could here set the applications that are already available here, or simply search here Slack. So you have a Slack already available. So what happens is in the backend, these are the companies that are the already enterprise application they developed, and they will be listed here. If not, you could create here a using app registration as a new application, just like your new developer. So in our case, Slack, we wanted to onboard. So simply click on create, or if you have an on-premises application and you want to set some integration that might in the backend establish some application connectivity inside the enterprise application. So in our case, we are actually trying to click on a GUI, but if you have some tool that is actually asking for your global admin rights on your subscription, then it's going to actually host an application just like this. And later point, you might have to, grant the roles and administrators or the user permissions. All of that can be granted. So this is how you can work with your enterprise applications. Let's say if you are referring to the enterprise application, the core things that you need to remember would be the application ID, which is mentioned here. So this application ID is important, and you could even grant the single sign-on configuration options can be configured in order to maybe enable your single sign-on activity for this Slack application. So these things would be comes under integration of the Slack. So the Slack specific documentation would be uh, gives a detailed configuration for you. Now let's have a look on app registration. So here you could create your own application. For example, in this case, if you are the developer, you might have to create your own application which will grant an access or it will enable access. So for example, I wanted to grant here an app one demo example. So this app one demo can work with only single tenant or multi intra tenants, or even it can work with your uh, personal accounts as well as to multi-tenant. Let's say you are working with a Dropbox kind of an application you are trying to develop. Maybe Dropbox can be sell to your enterprise customers as well as to your personal users. So in that case, you would be choosing these. So these things knows very well to your developers. So our job would be from a enter admin point of would be to create the application as a or to register an application, I would say. And later point, the things like they would ask us whether it's a web application or single page application or a public client or native mobile or desktop app. So in this case, if it is a web application, I could uh, enter an local host or maybe leave it blank and then simply choose the required tenant information. So I wanted to limit this application as a single and leave this register. So when I say register, this app and demo has been registered with a client ID. So what you will be doing is you would be sharing this application details to your developers, and you would be make them as the owner so that they can manage this entire application. So in their program or in their development, they would actually integrate their secrets, nothing but your or their application passwords by generating here, for example, uh, test password example. So this can valid maybe a 90 days or 365 days, something like that. They could define, and then this becomes as their passcode to use the application. The application is app one demo. So you might have a question like, can I use in other way? Yeah, if you are the if you want to use as a service account, yes, same thing. You create an application and then go back to your um, Entra and grant this as the administrator. So this itself treats as an application, like app one demo becomes as the account. So for you, maybe not just the users, this also treated as an account when you're trying to grant the permission. So the permission granting can be done uh, for your application also. So if you are referring in your application this app ID, so this is a unique ID that it's gonna generate it for this application. In this case, this is F7 ending. So this entire code and the secrets that we just generated, these things, they would be referring and they would use in their application. You could do the branding for this application, and also they could grant the single sign-on configuration or permissions they could grant for their APIs like Microsoft Graph API. These things can be done from a development point of view for your developers. But at the same time, whatever the steps we have done, so this becomes as a service account also for your information. You could, grant by going to one of the virtual machine and properties, and then give this service account to restart or root to shut down. All that activities can be performed. So that being said, I'll catch you in the next lecture.